Hello and welcome to the Karaka Sales Show for 2024. It's a big industry and we are fast approaching one of the most important times of the year, the Yearling Sales. Aidan Rodley, we're going to be learning plenty this morning and we've been behind the scenes, haven't we, over the past couple of weeks? Yeah,
it's been great getting around a few of the farms to get a bit of preparation for today's show and also a bit of great base knowledge for the sales that are upcoming. Such an important time of the year and so much goes into it, Emily, doesn't it? From planning, mating, from actually foaling down and getting those horses prepared for the yearling sales, and it's so important to the New Zealand economy, and yeah, this is a very important time in our racing industry.
Well, let's find out what's coming up on the show this morning. We kick things off with Jessie Gower from New Zealand Bloodstock, who gives us all the latest information with regards to the sale itself. Following on from that, we get out and about with Highline Thoroughbreds. We meet Cam and Eva Heron to talk all things broodmares. We then have Rodney Schicks from Windsor Park Stud. He's in studio to talk through his incredible lineup of stallions. I got out on the farm at Hanui and I learned what it takes to prepare a yearling for the sales. And then to Inglewood Stud, all the way down south, Gus Wigley talks us through what it takes to get a horse up from the South Island. And finally, Mike Kneebone, well, he's got a pivotal role with the sales and we catch up with him and what it takes to be an auctioneer. Well, speaking of Jessie Gower, she's with us now. A very warm welcome to you, and no doubt it is all hands on deck getting things ready for a big sale.
Morning, Emily. Yes, it certainly is. We are right in the thick of it now. We have horses arriving at Karaka and we have international buyers arriving as well, so all go.
Talk me through the sale, when things kick off and what time the first lot goes through the ring on that Sunday.
Yes, so on Sunday is book one, day one, so it's the big day. It's where we sort of have our first glimpse at how things will play out in the auction ring. And lot one goes through the ring at 10 a.m.
682 lots available. Book two, obviously, 11 a.m. from Wednesday, January the 31st.
Yes.
What about where we can view the sales? Because you don't have to be at the complex, do you? You can jump online.
That's right. No, you can actually go online and you can bid online as well. So we have an online bidding platform that you can access very easily and bid in real time and be very much part of the action in the sales ring. If you have a horse you like and you can't get down there, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
You've also got the preview show, review show and some great coverage throughout the day, haven't you, as well?
That's right. We have a live broadcast and that will be streamed. That will actually be on Trackside Premiere and also streamed live on our website and our Facebook page as well.
The New Zealand sires, they're well represented this year and there's a number of exciting first season sires, aren't there?
Yes, we have 5 New Zealand based first season sires at Karaka 2024 and it's always exciting to see these new sires debut their stock for the first time, see how the market receives them and have a glimpse of what might come for them in the future.
Yeah, some exciting names in that lineup. What about the buyer's bench? What can we expect there? We've seen over the years people like David Ellis, Chris Waller, Guy Mulcaster, very active. What's the market vibe at the moment?
It's an interesting market. You can never pick how things will play out. Certainly those big players, I hope they will be there and active, I hope. But there are many others as well. We actually have a very diverse buying bench coming. One thing that's quite heartening to see, looking at bookings and whatnot, is that there's some younger Australian buyers and some new faces that will be attending as well. So, just should be a very, very broad sale, and we may see a few Australians sticking around for book two, which is a nice thing too.
And I know a number of people are here early, aren't they? Parades are pretty much kicking off as we speak.
They are. The horses are arriving or have arrived already. They'll all be on site by tomorrow. Parades do commence today. So those buyers and bloodstock agents that like to do their homework, they'll be on the grounds going through, making their notes, getting their lists, and then they'll go around again and shorten those lists and make further notes until they distill it down until a list that they're willing to put their hand up for.
Finding that champion. We've seen fireworks in the ring previously, $1 million top lot last year. What are you expecting this year? I know last season really exceeded expectations.
Certainly, and performances on the racetracks play into how things go in the sales ring. If we've got New Zealand horses performing well, particularly up in those big Australian Group 1s, which we certainly did last season, it has a huge impact on how people perceive the Kiwi breed and how much they're prepared to pay for another one in case they can chase those big races. So very much so. And one thing that I think is just so exciting are the names that you'll see. We have books that are littered with top horses, siblings too and whatnot. And so people can come and recognise some names on the page and really chase those in the sales ring, and we hope that certainly will help stimulate a little bit more action and excitement in the sale ring.
We saw the Australian market right up last year and maybe the domestic buying bench down, but with Entain's investment, are you hoping that the domestic buyers bench can come up?
Yes, certainly. I mean, the domestic market was quieter last year. There was about a $9 million deficit there that we were not pleased to see, of course. But with Entain coming on board, as you say, hopefully we might see a bit more confidence from our domestic buying bench and see that reflected in what they're prepared to pay for horses and how many they might be able to pop in their stable. So we'll have to see how that plays out, and you just never count your chickens.
The economy, how does this sale affect the economy? Because there's a lot of dollars bouncing around, isn't there, over the week?
There certainly are. So last year, for example, we turned over in excess of 80 million across those 6 days of selling. 70 million was accounted for in the first 3 days, which is book one, and then another 11 plus million was accounted for in those final 3 days, which is book two. So certainly it's no small thing, and that money going out into the regions to those studs around the country has a huge impact. Not only that, but we have the buyers flooding in. We've already booked 250 hotel rooms ourselves, and we know there are hundreds more that we did not book. So hospitality and accommodation-wise, we have a huge impact on the local economy as well.
Jessie, thank you so much for your time. It's been fabulous to get the insight into the sale. What does the week involve for you in the build-up with regards to your position at New Zealand Bloodstock?
Well, with my role, it's very much making sure that everybody feels welcome, that they have the information they need, and that everything is communicated well. So I'm client relations manager, and so and PR manager as well. So very much just getting word out there and making sure that things are going smoothly. There are many things that fall outside my normal remit that happen during a sale, and really anything that needs doing. New Zealand Bloodstock are great at helping each other out, and that's something that I do as well. So you might see me anywhere, to be perfectly honest, Emily.
And we wish Jessie the best of luck and the New Zealand Bloodstock team with the upcoming sale. Aidan Rodley, you're going to talk us through what it looks like, a pedigree page. It's very confusing. There's a bold type, there's a small case print. Talk us through what a pedigree and how we read it.
We're going to bring up one of the star pedigrees. This is Burgundy, of course. So what you're looking for in the pedigree is obviously the sire's key. Redoute's Choice is one of the absolute world champion sires. And then you're looking down here, Grand Eshizo was a terrific dam herself. We'll see more about her on the page, but then you're looking at the dam sire, looking around Zabeel, and then you're looking back into the great stallions, in especially this pedigree. Obviously, Nureyev is the grandsire of Zabeel, so you're looking for those absolute standouts. Maybe you're looking for maybe one or two stallions that haven't performed so well as well, so that maybe that just takes away from it. On this side here, you see the first dam, you get the second dam here, but Grand Eshizo, so you can see there by Zabeel, you get her race record. Obviously, she's a Group 1 Australasian Oaks performer. And then you see here, dam of 2 foals to race, both of them winners. Darcy Brown, we go through his record, all of his great Group 1 wins, and of course Saparavi, who was a stakes performer as well. So that reads well, especially 2 foals, 2 winners. And you'll see that on all pedigree pages, maybe 5 or 6 foals to race and then 2 winners. So that's important here, having that sort of strike rate. You're looking at the big black type around stakes winners, and then you're looking at the smaller case letters, lower case letters around stakes performers, and that's always what you're looking for. Lots of them, especially when you've got a lot of depth to Darcy Brahma. You know he's been a terrific horse as well. And then further down, obviously, the great performers who are part of that pedigree, the likes of Ethereal. So very good example, and Burgundy was a terrific sire as well, very fast horse, and that bore out in that pedigree, didn't it?
Yeah, you picked a good pedigree there, Aidan. What about how thoroughbreds came about? Take us back in history and in time and explain the thoroughbred.
Thanks, Emily. We're going to take you on a fascinating journey through the roots of thoroughbred racing, a sport tracing its roots back to the Middle East, back to the spirited and enduring Arabian breed. Our story begins with 3 remarkable stallions, the Biley Turk, Dali Arabian and the Godolphin Barb. The latter, born in Syria, embarked on a non-stop journey from Aleppo to Ireland, arriving without docking at any other port. These stallions, driven by the need for the lighter horse in Britain, laid the foundation for the thoroughbred, known for its speed, agility and competitiveness. In the 1840s, New Zealand began importing thoroughbreds. The influential stallion Melbourne, though never Setting foot in New Zealand became crucial to the early sires, including Western Australian and Blink Bonnie. In 1878, Muscat arrived in New Zealand, marking a pivotal moment in thoroughbred development in New Zealand. His son Carbine emerges one of the best thoroughbreds in Australia and New Zealand, winning 33 out of his 43 starts. Carbine in turn became a prolific sire with the likes of champion sire Spearmint. Spearmint's greatest success as a stallion came through his daughters, whose descendants, including Nyako, exerted enormous influence on thoroughbred pedigrees worldwide. This lineage eventually led to Sir Tristram, one of New Zealand's greatest stallions. Sir Tristram, acquired by Sir Patrick Hogan, gained fame as a challenging horse but an exceptional sire. His legacy includes over 140 stakes winners, including Melbourne Cup winners, Gooners Lane, Empire Rose and Brew. He also became a notable broodmare sire. Sir Tristram's best sire son was Zabeel, who stood at Cambridge Stud from 1991 to 2013. Zabeel's prolific stud career saw him sire 153 individual stakes winners, including the champions Octagonal and Might and Power. Finally, we arrive at Savabeel, another star descendant of this lineage who has left an indelible mark on the industry, known for producing progeny with remarkable speed, stamina and versatility. Savabeel's influence continues to shape the excellence of New Zealand racing.
Aidan, fascinating stuff. Really enjoyed your insight there. Well, David Ellis is a name synonymous with the New Zealand bloodstock yearling sales, and we find out what his fondest purchase is.
I was pretty stoked to buy a Savabeel colt called Novia, and it was the biggest thrill that we've ever had, winning the 2,000 guineas with him.
Novia, he ran right over the top of them. Novia, absolutely stunning.
And seeing him stand at Waikato Stud, you just can't get a bigger thrill than that.
You remember the attractions of him?
Oh, definitely I can. He was just beautifully prepared and was a very handsome, strong, good-looking colt. Paid a little bit more than what I thought I'd have to, but when you've really fall in love with a colt like him, he was just on our must-have list.
DC Ellis gets him, 800,000, gorgeous colt, David.
$1,800,000 is in the seats, 850 at the top, 1,850,000 standing at 1,800,000, 1.9 at 2.1 million, at $2,100,000, and I'm selling 2,650,000 at 2.65 at $2,650,000 at 2,850,000. We're all enjoying it at 2.85, 2.9 at 2.3 million. I've got $3 million now. At $3 million buys him at 3,350,000 at 3.35, 3.4 at $3.6 million anymore. At $3,600,000, I've got to sell him. Are you sure, sir? I've got to be fair. At $3,600,000, done, all done.
Incredible scenes, wasn't it? We talk about fireworks in the sale ring, and that was definitely one of those moments. Aidan, with inflation, that would be close to $7 million for a yearling. Off the chart stuff. Yeah,
mind-blowing. But what about the theatre of the sale itself? And sold through Cambridge Stud, Sir Patrick Hogan, ended up racing at a Gay Waterhouse stable and became a Group 1 winner from that stable as well, and then went to stud stood at Honui Farm for a decent period of time as well. But the one thing that Karaka's done with the Group 1 horses, you know, there's such a good strike rate of those $1 million horses becoming Group 1 horses, probably better than any other sale.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff, isn't it? Well, let's find out what goes into getting a horse to the sales. It's not just about that week, it's not about the yearling prep even. It all starts with the broodmare, the mating, and then of course the foaling down. Let's get out to Highline Thoroughbreds, Cam and Eva Heron.
We sit down and go through the pedigrees, look what matches up to our mares, what are we trying to produce? Are we trying to produce a stayer? Are we looking for a sprinting type of horse out of that mare? So we do quite a bit of research into it, and it is hard. It's actually really hard. It's not an easy job.
You obviously breed, you've got 5 broodmare. Just tell us about your approach to developing a broodmare, Cam.
Oh, it's tough. Yeah, we just try and go on some proven breeding lines. We've picked up a lot of stuff from Warwick too. He's pretty accomplished at what he's been doing, so we've learned a lot off him. And then I think a breeder can get tied up in trying to breed the fashion, but then that's, from the moment you conceive till a sale, a yearling sale, it's 2.5 years away, so those fashions can change pretty quick. So I think first and foremost you've got to try and breed a racehorse, which is generally what we try and do. So the foaling down starts really in August, and all these mares we're foaling down, we've bred them the year before, so we've got all the records. We know how they foaled down last year and the year before and all that, so we make pretty detailed notes at foaling down, so which translates forward to the next year. Pretty soon after that you're into yearling prep. We're not actually trying to sell yearlings, we're trying to sell racehorses, so you've got to try and give them as much education as we can do now. Then they go off to the breaker, and it makes it easier at the breaker. It's not so much a bigger transition from yearling to broken in yearling or 2-year-old and all that, and then it just makes it easier all the way through. So I think it's just a smoother transition all the way through to a racehorse.
It's hugely rewarding because we get horses that obviously owners don't have the same facilities, or they're breeders and they might have a job that's a full-time job. They come in, you can't catch them, they don't want to know you. So our whole thing is get them relaxed. They're going to be racehorses, they're going to stand in tie-ups for hours and hours on end. So it's very rewarding when they go from basically something that's quite fearful to something within a week, how quickly it changes.
While it's a cool job, it's also a business. You've got to make some money, so hopefully sales time's when that's going to happen, right?
Yeah, that's it. At the end of the day, we've got to be making money, otherwise you can't do what you want to do. So, and that's the sales is the go for the year, and that's where we try and pick up a bit of a cash influx. And that also is the other reason sometimes we put some weanlings in a weanling sale, and it helps give you a bit of cash influx throughout the year. So it keeps everything ticking over. Yeah.
And Cam and even Heron have the 3 lots in Book 1. We can take a look at those now. And we identified lot 224 by I Am Invincible out of the mare Midnight Revels, beautifully bred. And we know what I Am Invincible can do.
Well, especially for a small vendor such as Highline, they've got one of the colts of the sale in this horse. He's by I Am Invincible. Obviously, Warwick Jeffries has had such success, New Zealand's small breeder of the year. And this is a horse who's got all sorts of quality, and to come from a small draft, he's going to be one of the horses that all the eyes are on at Karaka.
Exciting stuff, isn't it? Well, what about Legato? Of course, Cam and Eva prepared Legato for sale. Let's find out what they thought of her.
It's amazing. I think anything that we have in our draft, it's amazing to follow them at the races, but man, she's just been a superstar, and we couldn't be more prouder. We're happy for Warwick, we're happy for the trainers and the now owners, and it was a pleasure to prep her. And she's always pretty straightforward. She had her little moments, but yeah, we just love her. We think she's amazing.
She's a wonderful racehorse, isn't she? I'm really looking forward to seeing her take her place in the Elsdon Park Aotearoa Classic on Karaka Million Night. At this part of the show, we welcome in Rodney Schick. Rodney, a very good morning to you. Got you on a busy day, haven't we? Because it's moving day, a lot of horses on the road.
Yeah, we started moving the yearlings yesterday, got the majority of them there, but we had our last truck go to Karaka this morning, and they're all there safe and sound.
I bet that's a good feeling. It's a busy week, isn't it? Australian buyers expected early this year. Yeah,
we start parading on Tuesday. I'm really looking forward to seeing them all arrive.
Let's talk about the stallions, because it's an exciting season for stallions as well. You've got an impressive lineup of stallions at Windsor Park Stud, as you can see behind you. No doubt some pride. They're
Nice
looking
to
at
see
all
them
of
on
those.
the big screen.
Exactly, they're all looking very fine. Circus Maximus is the one that I wanted to single out because it's a big year for him. A first season sire at Karaka, and he's just been such an incredible racehorse, hasn't he? Tell me about his race record.
Yeah, look, he was an exceptional racehorse, triple Group 1 winning miler, won 2 Group 1s at Royal Ascot, including the St James Palace, which is probably the greatest stallion making race.
Yeah, it is. Tell me about a stat that you had for us earlier behind the scenes, because there is a remarkable stat, isn't there, around the St James's Palace and stallions?
Yeah, so if you take the 4 major stallion making races in Australia since the turn of the century, they've produced 152 Group 1 winners, but the St James Palace is on the same time, and by itself has produced 162 Group 1 winners. So huge stats. It's you know, Frankel, Kingman, Sharmadale. It's just been a race that has produced so many good stallions.
Tell me about the draft you've got on the ground. What are his progeny like?
Look, you know, he's a very good type himself, and a very, very good mover, and he's really thrown that into his progeny. You know, they're a lovely bunch of yearlings, and there's plenty there to choose from. We're just really excited.
The coming years are going to be pretty exciting for Windsor Park Stud too, because Armory and Profondo are going to have some horses on the ground. Let's talk about Armory first. 2025, I think, will be him as a first season sire.
Yeah, look, he was very popular in his first year. I think got 130 mares, which was really exciting for us. We've brought him in partnership with Mapley Stud. He's got he's a very good 2-year-old himself, and then joint champion 3-year-old in Ireland. So, you know, great stats. He came to Australia and ran second in a Cox Plate. So, look, we're very excited about a young horse like him.
And what about Profondo? 2026, I think, will be his first crop at the Yearling Sales. He's a great get for Windsor Park Stud.
Yes, he is. Once again, we've brought him in partnership with Mapley Stud and Ben Kwok. He's got 155 mares in foal this year, so he was very popular, very, very handsome horse, a very, very lovely sire line. So look, he is, you know, in a Group 1 winner, so really looking forward to that.
Yeah, there's lots to be excited about, isn't there? You've had some champions off the farm in previous years. I think 3 world champions it is, and including So You Think. Tell me about some of the successes that have come from Windsor Park Stud.
Obviously, everyone knows who So You Think is. You know, he won 5 Group 1s in Australia, 2 Cox Plates, went to Europe, won 5 more Group 1s. So, you know, he was such a beautiful horse. But we also bred Might and Power, who is a world champion and Air Velocity. So we're pretty proud of the fact that to have 3 world champions off one farm is pretty exciting, and we've produced 50 plus Group 1 winners off the farm. So yeah, some nice stats.
The draft this year, I'm sure you're hoping there's a couple of world champions in there. Talk me through the draft, because it's a broad spectrum of size. It's varied, isn't it?
Yeah, look, we've got a lot of lovely size in the draft. Obviously, Circus Maximus being his first year, we've got quite a few Circus Maximuses, but we've Termi Loose has done a great job. We've got some lovely Termi Looses, Vanbrugh, but we've also got some Australian flavour in there with the first season of Bivouac, which is really exciting. So look, there's some lovely yearlings by some very good sires.
A couple that you've identified for us as being standouts. One of those is lot 28. That's Turn Me Loose, Drop the Beat. And it's pretty well related in a current family too, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it's the family of Wild Knight. It's been a very, very good family. His great-granddam, Max Moreau, won the Breeders' Stakes. And it's just one of those families that just keeps producing. And this is the first foal of a Parzier mare. He's a really good looker. I don't normally fall for just the good looks, but from the time he was a foal, he's just wanted to be a racehorse. So, yeah, he's an exciting young horse.
He is. He's super flashy too. Love him. You've also got, of course, Mia, who's a wonderful mare, and it's another really current and happening family, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a family I've had for a very long time. I think his great-grandmother I brought in at Tattersalls when I was about 20 years old. So it's a family I've had for a long time in partnership with John and Margaret Thompson. But she's produced Dynastic, who's won the Karaka Million as a 2-year-old. And then the other day he had Nebuchadnezzar come out in the 2-year-old race and run second in that stakes race at Wellington. So he's a really exciting horse by Circus Maximus. So.
Yeah, Looking forward to that. Rodney, thank you so much for your time this morning. I know it's a busy time of year and we really appreciate you coming into the studio with us this morning. Let's hear from another really busy farm at a busy time of year. Elsdon Park's Kerry Cox catches up with the Karaka Sales Show.
Elsdon Park now starting to get a real name. Second Yearling Sales upcoming. How's it been?
Yeah, second year. It's really exciting. Look, we took over the farm 1st of August last year, so it was really sort of all straight into it, straight into foaling and breeding and yearling sales. And this year we've had a little bit more time to sort of settle in, which has been really great. And we're looking forward to it. We've got another cracking draft, so we're looking forward to presenting them. Bruce Perry's done a lot of work with Lib and they've got a great relationship. So between them, they've sort of, bought these fillies and built this amazing broodmare band that I've sort of just walked into. So it's pretty awesome. It's a really well developed farm. Obviously it was already, producing top horses here. So, we just want to put our stamp on it and that's really important to us. So we've redeveloped a foaling unit, the parade ring, we just wanted to make it a little bit more, easier to view the horses and see what you need to. We've got an amazing team, I think the amount of years of experience with our team is huge, and that's really important. We have a lot of young guys coming in as well, which is also great for the mix of the team. But our yearling manager Yvonne Shanks, she was my boss I think 20 years ago, at Waikato. So to have her experience here, looking after our yearlings is just really awesome.
It's a little after 6 a.m, the sun's just coming up, and we've come to South Auckland, Hanui Farm, to find out what goes into a yearling preparation. Early mornings, long hours, the end result, Group 1 racehorses.
So what I do in the morning is I'll check every horse over, make sure their legs are all good, there's no swellings, anything like that.
Get them out, get them on the walker?
Yeah, we just try and get him out. He's already pretty much muscled and everything like that, so he'll go on the walker without gear.
Okay.
This guy here, Emily, will put on the walker with gear. We just want to develop him a little bit more through the neck.
And what does the gear do?
We just want to build more of a top line, and depending on the horse, how we want to shape it depends how we put the side reins on. He's got a good strong back, so he'd just be shaped normally. If we have something that we need to build up through the back a little bit, we might put a little deeper in the frame.
Okay. So safety is really paramount, isn't it? Whether having someone watching the walk, you're just eliminating.
Absolutely. You're eliminating anything that could go wrong. These horses are worth a lot of money, so we have to cover everything.
So what are you looking for when you're out here keeping an eye on them?
I'm looking for temperament, I've got the right person on that horse, looking to see if they're free moving, if they're relaxed, making sure as they come past they've still got all their shoes on.
So we've seen the horse walker. Why not just pop them on the horse walker to save you hand walking? What benefit does hand walking offer?
Well, hand walking gets my leaders fit as well.
Yeah, okay.
Some horses might walk 10 kilometres at the sales. Yeah. The walkers need to be fit because they're going to be going all day at the sales.
So do you want me to muck out some boxes or something?
Always need an extra hand, Emily.
Perfect.
I'll get you on the end of the fork.
Perfect, thank you.
Harry will teach you how to do a box.
What are the standards?
Nice and level.
Nice and level, okay.
We'll be on some hand walkers now.
Okay, just don't give me your $1 million schnitzel colt. I'm just taking all the jobs today.
We like to put our boots quite low because we protect the sesamoids quite a bit.
They don't knock themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Specifically the sesamoids. Emily, all good?
Yeah, all good.
Did you enjoy that?
I can see what you mean about the handlers being fit.
Yeah.
Might need to remove the jacket.
Yeah.
Let's get used to the cameras if you're going to be a fast horse. Good boy. So even though they're yearlings, they've all got shoes on. Tell me why they have that.
They might need a little more balance, or their feet might be, you know, just a little soft, so we want to put shoes on them so that they're walking correctly. This helps make a better shaped foot and keep it correct.
So explain to me what we're going to do with the Savabiles.
So this guy's just gone on the walker.
Yeah.
So he'll now get his day spa.
I love it.
Day spa. So a good curry comb, a warm Virkon wash. Keeps them nice and clean and disinfectant.
Disinfectant. So it's just making sure they're, just gets out all of the dirt.
Exactly, and keeps their skin clean. You know, lift the skin. Grooming with the curry comb develops the muscles as well.
Okay.
So that's really important. You just get in there, get all that hair out.
It's a really important part of the preparation, isn't it? Making sure that they're fed right.
Crucial. It's not basic, it's very specific, and each horse is on its individual feed and individual supplementation. Every fortnight, Mark will actually have a look at the horse on the parade ring, and then from there we may change some feeds. We need to up this, take this down, add this, you know, and then we enforce that.
How many times a day would you feed them?
Normal horses are on 2 feeds a day. We've got some that might be picky eaters. We go 6 feeds a day.
We've seen some of these horses getting photos today. That must be a labour-intensive job because you need it perfect.
You do need it perfect. You need the horse to be very patient, so that's an important thing. You know, you've got your photos which need to be absolutely correct in the way they are presented, you know, with their legs, their feet. You want to, it's all about first impression, so with the photos they have to be absolutely spot on. The photos are very, very important.
It's been such a fun morning here at Hanui. I feel like we've achieved plenty. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. No, it's great, you know, like you just saw exactly what our morning does, you know, so I think we've achieved a lot, and you've also got to walk a horse.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Thank you for doing stable as well.
Thanks for having me. Good luck at the sales.
Thank you so much.
I should prefix that I didn't really do much mucking out. It was a bit of a setup there with the rake, but God, I had a fun morning. And there are so many elements that go into a yearling prep, so much detail. It's crazy.
Absolutely, and it's borne out in that piece. Well done, Emily, to you as well. But there's so many things that go on behind the scenes that you just don't even think about. And really good, especially, you know, how busy you are through Trackside through the summer. They've given you that handbook and get you into full fitness, ready to go.
I needed the jacket off, I tell you. It's hard work, harder than it looks. Got to keep up with those yearlings. Let's talk about the lots that Hanui Farm have on offer. And there is plenty to look forward to when you look through what they've got available. Wanted to single out one in particular, and that's of course the Schnitzel Rondinella colt. He is a beauty.
I'm picking that was the one they didn't want you on the lead break for, yeah. But obviously a fantastic pedigree. One thing we know about the Hanui Farm draft, these are a range of stallions, but out of Rondinella, this is such a good pedigree. And on type, Emily, you would have had a chance to see this horse. What did you make of it?
Oh, he's stunning. Yeah, he's a lovely type, and he's got a great nature as well, as you can see through the video. Yeah. He's laid back, he's professional, he does everything right. So going to be exciting to see what he can make in the ring. And it's a family with a lot of history from Hanui Farm too. Yeah,
they've done such a great job. And of course, the Chitty family, just the years and things that they've had from a couple of different properties, but now really making their mark at their Karaka farm.
They sure are. Well, they're famous for having sold Melody Bell at the sales, and what she went on to do on the racetrack was quite remarkable. Let's see the impact she's had on the farm.
She wasn't so important on a sale ring price, but in terms of a racehorse, absolutely fabulous, because Marie Lester's our longest serving client was a client, Annie Sarton was a client of my father's, and Marie. So, you know, I still remember the day we sold her, and you know, she didn't even quite make what we thought she'd make on a reserve basis. But the fact that she went to Te Akau and created the legacy that she created, it was full marks to them. And you know, from our own farm perspective, you know, anything that we grow and we develop is all part of the whole. It's the whole system. It's not just the yearling system. It's the breeding team. It's the guys that get up in the middle of the night and foal them, to those that, you know, are there in July, you know, and it's pouring with rain, and they're feeding out at 7 o'clock in the morning or 4:30 in the afternoon. There are nicer things to do. To those staff and all of those, that's what makes you know, horses like Melody Bell. We've had a horse like Militarise, who came off the farm, left and went to the Magic Millions as a 13-month-old yearling. You get a lot of pleasure out of that.
High centre at 57,500. Goes to David Ellis. Thank you, David. Well bought.
My great-grandfather was an auctioneer that used to travel over to New Zealand to auction at their main yearling sales, and he was involved in the sale of Farlap and Gloaming, and we still have the catalogue from the Farlap sale in a frame in the office wall. And he bred some really good horses. He owned them as well. He bred VRC Derby winners and AJC Derby winners and Doncaster winners, and but sadly he had a heart attack and died on the stable lawn, and about 1960, and the farm was sold outside of the family for 10 years. And my father was working in a stable as a young fella up in the UK, and got the call from his father that Inglewood was back on the market, and he came down here and took over. Bought a stallion called Beaufort Sea, which he was a great stallion for the South Island, New Zealand, through the 80s and early 90s, and left a couple of really good horses. Yeah, we sort of, covers go on at the start of October, and we probably start getting really into it and start boxing them during the day by mid-November. They're walked every day, brushed every day, and it's quite an intensive process, so not an easy thing getting the yearlings up to Karaka, but it's something that we're passionate about and something we enjoy. I suppose Canterbury's the food basket of New Zealand. It's a fantastic place to grow stuff, and horses are no exception. We've got the nice warm dry summers, and during the winter we get those hard frosts, so I suppose we have less soil-borne diseases and that sort of thing, so it's just a nice healthy clean place to grow horses. The disadvantage is the trip, 2 days on a float and 12 hours the first day and 8 the next, and it's that 4-hour ferry ride the first day that with the rolling swales that really gets us. It's a bit different from when my father used to take horses up to Karaka back in the 90s. It's a bit easier, I think. So, but still, it's a, you know, we can have our problems as well. We definitely try to have them over conditioned before they go up. Best piece of advice my dad ever gave me was, you can take some weight off a horse and a yearling in 3 or 4 days, but you can't put it back on. So, you know, we definitely have, they have got something to go on the trip on the way up, and we can tighten them up a little bit when they get there. We're really trying to focus on quality rather than quantity. So 15 this year is the most we've ever taken up. We're really restricted by the number of boxes that we've got, which is 15, so we'll put a couple more in this year. But it's a good number that we can do the yearling prep and still concentrate on the stallion and not have a too big a team doing it. It works well. So we've got myself and Kayla and Joe, and they're both amazing. They can serve with the stallion, foal a mare. They both ride track work, prep the yearlings. So it's yeah, we're very lucky to have 2 experienced staff like that. We obviously have a few more crew that come on board for the yearling sales once we're up there. But you know, between the 3 of us, we get the yearling prep done with 15 horses. There's been some very good horses bred off the farm over a very long time, so there's a track record there, and hopefully we can continue that.
Here's Velocious down the outside, still there also is Bellatrix Star. Velocious, oh, she went boom at the 100, and Velocious, oh, that's 2 from 2, she's a good one.
She was just magnificent from day one. Like, she was a standout in the farm, and anyone that walked into a paddock just should draw your eye. So, you know, she was the boss, definitely the boss. We had to pull her out of the fillies and paddock with another colt over the winter. She was beating everything up. So, yeah, she's the boss, but she was great to handle and do anything with.
Talking about Rude Awakening before the race, and wow, it's just really nice to have a filly doing that at this stage of her career.
The 2-year-old filly by Written Tycoon, that's a good win.
It's great for the farm, and it's great to be able to produce a 2-year-old like that from down here, and that's what we set out to do with her, and the fact that she's a great advocate for the farm at the moment and for the South Islands.
Velocious, Stephen Marsh, Sam Spratt for the Go Racing Barata Syndicate. Well done, Albert Bosma.
We actually had a chat last year and we said, look, we need to buy a couple of horses for the Karaka Million, so she was one of them. It's nice when a plan comes off.
We will have a nice bottle of champagne and then turn up and sell a whole lot of horses the next day, hopefully. Unfortunately, it might be one of those things that I suppose it's one of the disadvantages of having a small team, as I'm hands-on as well, and so is the staff that I want to have a drink with. So look, we'll have we'll obviously celebrate, but we'd have to get up first thing in the morning and sell some horses. So.
Gus Wigley from Inglewood Park Stud, they do a marvellous job, and Aidan, it is a logistical nightmare, isn't it, for them, but they handle it beautifully.
Absolutely, and like they were talking about, just the versatility of their staff, and yeah, they've done it for so many years. They get into those systems of knowing what works best with the travelling. Obviously, it's a decent draft they've got into Karaka this year as well. And one thing that Gus was talking about there is that family legacy, boy, the job that Nick did in the day as well at Inglewood. It's credit to them.
Yeah, they've always got great variety in their draft, and one that we've singled out is lot 295, of course, the Dundeel Palmer Love, and there'll be some anxious eyes watching the Karaka Million on Saturday because a half-sister to Velocious.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously you probably picked this one out yourself, being by Dundeel, Emily, who you had such a great association with. He's doing a really good job as a stallion, and yeah, they've just got this breed really operating very nicely indeed.
Speaking of Velocious and Inglewood Stud, we welcome in Albert Bosma. Welcome to you from Go Racing, and it's a pretty exciting week for you because, of course, you purchased Velocious from Inglewood Stud just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, no, we did last year, and it is the most exciting week of racing in New Zealand, and the revamped Karaka Million night is just superb. You know, sold out Ellerslie. It's going to be a party, and to have a major card in that party is fantastic.
Tell me about her originally. What attracted you to her, and what did you have in that book when you looked at her originally?
Yeah, so when we look at any yearling, it's all about pedigree and conformation. And she was by Written Tycoon, who's a known source of speed, out of a Schnitzel mare that had won Australia 1,200 metres. So that was, you know, really good. What she didn't have a great depth of pedigree. There were 4 dams on the page. But what she did have is her dam was a half-sister to 2 stakes winners. So all of the black type was up close. And a real key for us was she had left a foal called Mozzarella, who Inglewood retained because she had poor leg conformation. But she still managed to win 2 races in the spring as a 2-year-old. So her pedigree screamed to us, I'm a 2-year-old.
Albert, what about her as an individual and the way that she's developed as a racehorse? What's got you sort of so excited about her?
Yeah, look, I think, you know, conformation-wise, she's a lovely filly. She's got a bit more length than most sort of Written Tycoons. I think a lot of people probably thought she won't make a 2-year-old. And that's maybe why I think we got her for a little bit under, sort of 190 I thought was good buying. But, you know, the way she's developed, she has just, every time I've asked her to go to the races, she's stepped up and she looks like she is going to continue to step up. So, you know, she's got any amount of ability. Stephen Marsh got her spot on. It's very exciting.
You won this race in 2013 with Rude Awakening. Are there comparisons to be made with Velocious?
There are some comparisons. I think if you put them in a horse race against each other now, I do think Rude Awakening would win because she was such a natural 2-year-old. But I haven't been. I mean, we went for many years sort of looking at buying middle distance horse for Australia, and only in the last couple of years we've come back to try and tackle the Karaka Million. And this filly is as close to Rude Awakening as a 2-year-old as you can get. She's very exciting.
Sure is. And what does the week look like for you? Obviously, the upcoming sales, there's the build-up to the Karaka Million itself. Must be a busy time for Go Racing.
Yeah, look, it's hugely busy. You know, it is the most important week of the year. We've already done a lot of on-farm inspections. We'll be out at the sales doing inspections from Tuesday for the horses that we haven't seen, trying to narrow down that list. You've got to be ready to go by the time you get to Karaka Million night, so you can turn up the following morning and just be ready and start bidding. You don't want to be chasing your tail. So it's a massive week for us. The next 2-3 weeks there's not a lot of sleep, but it's, as anyone that's in this industry knows, it's what we do it for. It's so much fun. And, when you get winners for owners, it's the best thing.
Well, hopefully you're waking up on Sunday morning with a hangover ready to go at the sales after a win in the Karaka Million. Albert, thank you so much for your time. Great to have Go Racing here with us this morning. Next, we find out from Mike Kneebone what it takes to be an auctioneer and what he's looking forward to during the week. Mike, a very warm welcome to you. Great to have you with us on the show. It's a busy time of year. When did you get over?
Yeah, so I've only just arrived on Saturday afternoon, and some beautiful weather. The farms are looking great, and can't wait for the week ahead.
There must be a massive amount of preparation that goes into the Karaka sales. How do you prepare? Talk me through that.
Well, we get our auctioneers list pretty early here, sent from the head office, so all the auctioneers know exactly what horses they're selling well before the parades and the inspections start at Karaka, and the whole idea is to get round all of those horses before the sale starts. We pretty much need to know as much about the horses as the vendors do, really, so that once we get onto the rostrum, we're right up with the play and can do the best job possible for the vendors.
Mike, a number of amazing lots heading through the ring. First season sires to look forward to. For you personally, what are you looking forward to this season?
Oh, look, as the sort of head auctioneer at Karaka and running the team on the rostrum, I'm really just looking for a clearance rate. That's the biggest thing for us on the day. Look, there's some amazing young sires coming forward. I think the two big ones with numbers, Circus Maximus from Windsor Park and Hello Yum Zane from Cambridge, are both going to be very, very exciting to see how they go with the numbers. But, we've got all the new season sires right throughout New Zealand and Australia, and of course some really nice proven ones now. And the whole sire power thing in New Zealand swung around in the last 5 years, and I think people will be here to look for quality and value.
Mike, Aidan Rodley here, and obviously you've been doing that auctioneering gig for a fair while now. What's the most memorable yearling you've sold at Karaka?
Good to hear from you, Aidan. Look, I think that Darcy Brahma was probably the most exciting for me. Sold them to Te Akau when they were just coming into the peak of their game, and of course he was also my first $1 million yearling through the ring, and he was just a magnificent horse, and he went on to become a great sire and a wonderful sire. So as far as memories of auctions go, he'd probably be the one that springs to mind.
One thing you do as an auctioneer, Mike, I'm sure you get round the grounds, inspect the ones you're about to sell. How much homework does go into it as an auctioneer?
Oh, a lot. Look, as I say, we get our auctioneer numbers come out quite early, but it's the pedigrees really, and sometimes you've got to know those pedigrees back 4 generations, so that if you're looking at a yearling and you can see its mother and its dam and its granddam, you can usually pick out what family it's come from 4 or 5 generations back that may not be on the page. So I guess the longer you've been doing it, the more you get used to those old families, and it's wonderful to see them come up, Adrian, as well.
Mike, it's great to have you on the show this morning. Best of luck to yourself and the team there at New Zealand Bloodstock Yearling Sales. Really looking forward to your auctioneering over the week.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me on. Cheers.
Great to chat with Mike Kneebone, such a pivotal part of what goes into a sales week, and to the whole New Zealand Bloodstock team. Best of luck to them, and thank you for your time this morning, Aidan. It's been great working with you.
Well, hasn't it given us an insight into a whole range of things, the auctioneering there through Mike, and those guys do an amazing job through the week. But we've also heard about the guys who are preparing horses. Seen you do a bit of work too, Emily. So it's been really insightful, which is great. Hopefully everyone watching the show can get something out of it. And yeah, we're looking forward to you leading one round, perhaps, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We'll save that for next year. It's been great to have your company on the show this morning. We've loved every minute of it. Good luck to everybody involved in the New Zealand Bloodstock Karaka Yearling Sales.
Bye.